Hi guys, welcome to Unlocking Minds. I am fine. I hope you all are fine too. How are you all doing? Let me know. And in this pandemic situation, please stay at home, stay safe. Please do not go out unnecessarily and bring the virus home. Stay positive, stay happy. And I know this situation is very difficult for all of us, but this situation will definitely change. So please stay positive. Help each other in this situation. And on this note, I'm going to start today's video, which is myths and real facts associated with mental health. What are these myths? Let us, clarify the doubts related to those myths. So, let's start. The first myth we have is mental health disorders are really uncommon. It's not the case. Like many people feel that I have a certain lifestyle, I cannot have any mental health issue. But in this fast world where, we have lot of life stresses, we can't meet people, it's like more or less we are living in a virtual world. In that situation, lot of mental health issues are seen in lot of people like depression, anxiety, self-harm, suicidal tendencies, and even issues of concentration, attention. These things are being seen like addiction to phone. All these are like mental health issues. So in that case, it's not like very uncommon. It can happen to anybody at any point of time. What we people feel, if we see the statistics, we see about around 450 million people all over the world have some sort of mental illness in them. Okay. And if we see, mental health disorders are a cause of physical illness as well as a disability for a human being. This WHO or World Health Organization has itself declared depression as one of the leading causes of physical as well as mental disorders in a person. Next myth we have is medicines related to these mental health disorders are really addictive. Once you start these medicines, like you have been, you're addicted to it and you can't stop it. It's not in that case. Like when you have a physical illness, you go to a doctor, you eat a medicine. Do you get addicted to it? No. Why does a psychiatrist need to, prescribe medicines? What are these medicines given for? There are cases where there are some, imbalances in the brain, in the neurotransmitters, like in dopamine, serotonin, epinephrine, norepinephrine. These causes certain mental health issues in our body, in our mind and body. So, and as well as it harms physically as well. So in that case, to maintain that balance and to have a better life, a psychiatrist prescribes medicines. So it's very important that you have those medicines, but obviously if you have these medicines or a larger scale or a larger amount, definitely is going to harm you. Suppose you have insomnia and you eat a lot of sleeping pills, then obviously you are going to die. In that case, you have to follow your prescription. Like even in physical illness, like we say, doctor says that don't self-medicate yourself. It's like in the same case, in mental illness also, don't self-medicate. Follow the rules, whatever the doctor has said. Doctor has given a prescription. Doctor knows what you need. So please follow that. Do not do things yourself. Do what the doctor is saying. And there's another myth, like who is a psychologist and who is a psychiatrist. A psychologist is a person who can help you, deal with your life stresses by doing some therapy or talking out, helping you, clear your doubts. Like there are a lot of places where counseling is done, where like depression, anxiety, eating disorders. Even today, people go for premarital counseling, or even career counseling is done when people, students are confused which career to choose. So it's not that there are cases where, medicines are required, but it's not only medicines which work. Both medicines and therapy go hand in hand. And who prescribes medicines? A psychiatrist. A psychiatrist has a degree, a MBBS degree, who has a right, can give medicines. But being a psychologist, we don't have the license or the degree to issue medicines to people. We know the names of the medicines, but we can't because we don't have the license. And if we do give medicines, then obviously we'll face some legal issues. So when you go to a psychologist for counseling, please don't ask give me medicines, I will be all. You write the medicine, I'll be all right. No, a psychologist cannot prescribe medicines. A psychologist will definitely refer to a psychiatrist, and a psychiatrist will, give the medicines, and a psychiatrist will send you for counseling to a psychologist. So, next is many people believe that marriage can cure these mental health issues. No, and marriage is something which itself requires lot of, mental, stability, responsibility, decision making, concentration, attention, these thing requires. And mental health issues, it's imbalance in all these things. It's not suppose many people believe if I get this person married, this person is having this problem, this particular mental health. If he gets married, he or she gets married, he will be all right. But no, this is not the right thing. Marriage is something which is requires lot of other, qualities. A mental health disordered person who has a mental health issue, that person will not be able to, understand the, concept of these things and cannot handle that pressure. So in that case, I don't, feel like marriage can cure this particular issues. Next is people who are suffering with mental health issues need to be hospitalized. When you have a physical illness, you are having diarrhea. I'm not saying in this pandemic situation. Forget about corona symptoms and all that. You have a normal viral fever or cold or cough. Do we go to hospital to get admitted? No, we do the treatment, we go to the doctor. It's the same case in this mental health also. There are disorders, whatever you say. Those, I don't think those require, hospitalization. You can go to visit the doctor, take his help, do whatever he is saying, and it's done. It's not like you have to stay in the hospital. But there are certain cases where you need help, where you need to stay in the hospital. But it's not that prolonged time, it's, the lifetime the person is in the hospital. No, for some time, a person is sent to the hospital, and it's giving the relief to the family, because we all have seen a person who is serving a mental health disordered person, that person also at the end of the day has some sort of, mental health issue in that person. The caregiver develops some mental health issues. So in that case, to give relief to that person, sometimes a person is hospitalized, if a person has schizophrenia or has violent streaks or has a self-harm attitude. In that case, the person can be hospitalized. But it's not that always a person is kept in the hospital or the person will be cured. It's not that case. For some time it's done, and then the person is sent at home. For physical illness also, it's the same case. No, person is not there in the hospital forever. The person comes back. In the same case, here also it happens. The next myth we have is only mad people go for counseling or to a psychiatrist. A normal person does not need that. But this is definitely not true, because mental health, what is a good mental health? Good mental health is basically not only the absence of any mental health issue, but basically an ability to deal with these life stresses. So in that case, what should we do? In this fast world where we don't have, that human touch is missing, and even obviously in this pandemic situation, people have depression, anxiety, and these kind of symptoms have been seen in these people. People are very addicted to their, social media, virtual world and everything, addicted to phones, laptops and TV, and all this is going on. That human touch is missing in us. So basically, a person goes for counseling who, in this fast world cannot, able to cope with these challenges he or she faces. We face a lot of challenges, and then at a point of time, what we should do. We are confused, career choices, or maybe life, important decisions related to life, or maybe there is some, grief in the family. How will I deal it? Or maybe you have a breakup or something like that. How will you deal with it? In that situation, you seek the help of a mental health professional. It's not definitely mad people do not go to a counseling thing. Many people come up and say that ये तो पागल लोग जाते हैं, हम लोग क्यों जाएंगे? But everybody needs it at some point of the time. Next is thing which is which I have seen. Like recently, I interacted with an individual on a social media platform. He said that these mental health issues cannot happen in our country. Like our country has always been surrounded by rishi munis and like lot of spiritual things are there. We have Bhagavad Gita, we have our Bible, we have Quran, we have all other religious texts. We cannot have this kind of disorders in our country. It's like a Western concept. No, if we see in our country, we have lot of tabooed things which are still there in our society, like sexuality. People don't want to talk on it. Menstruation, nobody wants to talk on it. It's like something which is like, I can't talk on this topic. So in that case, I think if you go to a psychologist, this person will guide you in the right manner, because on this social media and on these places there are a lot of information, which is the right thing, which is the right thing, wrong thing, we don't know. So I think an experienced person can guide you in a right way. So it's better that if you want to seek information on something, you just go to that person, seek help, because even on these topics, like our families also don't want to talk. It's like they give us all sort of wrong information. So an experienced person will definitely help you. Like if we see the statistics about 90 million people, or like 7.5% of this Indian population has some kind of mental illness in them. But people I feel very shy to talk about it. I don't know why, but like it's a normal thing. So the next myth we have is mental health illness is a sign of weakness. So like if you, just like physical illness, has like cold, cough, is it a sign of weakness? No, it is just an infection. In the same way, mental health illness, how can it be a sign of a weakness? It's like you have a problem, like you don't face problem. Everybody faces problems in their lives. Some can cope it easily, some have difficulty in coping with it. So it's like, it's important. It's okay. If you have a mental health issue, it's like okay. And you don't know, people believe that, like if I say about it, what will people say? This is a very important bad thing which is going on. Like what will others say? Like why would I think of others? It's like it's affecting me. I am being affected. This particular issue is not only affecting me but my family as well. If I have a mental health issue, obviously I will feel irritated, I'll feel anxious. Obviously the impact will fall on the family and as well as on my work as well. So this, like speaking up about your mental health issue is never a sign of weakness. It is definitely a sign of, bravery kind of thing. A person who goes to a counselor or maybe, speaks out about this problem, then that person is really brave. You don't know how many barriers he had to break, internal as well as external barriers to, go and meet that person, that I need help. Please help me. Had this been done in our society, then a lot of these suicidal cases would have stopped. Many people have committed suicide. Had these, they had been told about these things, that they would have helped them to, stop at these things, and they would be benefited, and we could have saved their lives as well. Next is like the most important myth is like men cannot have this kind of illness. Men are very, very strong, because this is like in our society, we live in a patriarchal society, right? So we believe that, lot of people believe that men are very strong. Like men cannot cry, they cannot show any emotions. They are very strong. They cannot cry in front of public. They can't have any kind of things. These are the things like these are like women issues. They have these things. We can't have this. This is like our society has imposed this. So like these things, like they cannot show emotions and all these things have been imposed by a society on men. So these, actually is detrimental for their mental health. And later they start developing these mental health issues. Women have a different kind of mental health issues, and men have issues like self-harm, addiction, drug abuse, and all the aggressive behavior, even suicidal tendencies. These are seen more in men than in women. So, but like in Hindi there is a saying that मर्द को दर्द नहीं होता, but this is totally wrong. मर्द को दर्द भी होता है, दिल भी टूटता है, रोना भी आता है, सब कुछ होता है. इट्स नॉट कि नहीं होगा, आई कांट, आई एम वेरी स्ट्रांग, आई डोंट नीड हेल्प. इट्स नॉट. प्लीज, if you believe such thing, please get out of it. This is not going to help you in any way. If you feel like expressing your emotions, please do that. If you need that, you speak out your problems to somebody, please. It's not, I won't discuss it with anybody. We are strong. Like I have met lot of people, or rather interacted with lot of people who say that I am strong, I cannot have this issue. Why? अबे इंसान हो, इंसान को भी दर्द हो सकता है, कुछ भी हो सकता है, क्यों? Why would you believe that you won't have this issue? Like you face any life situations or whatever, you can have it. It's like normal. So accept that fact, no, and move on in life. Like when you have a heartbreak, people, like become mad and can't deal with this situation. So at that time, you definitely need help. So on this note, these are the few myths and facts associated with mental health. I hope I'm able to clear your doubts. And if not, please let me know. And please let me know how this video was, because I'm not able to understand how you people are perceiving my videos, or what changes can I make. Please let me know. Stay safe and stay happy. Thank you. Bye.